First, let's find out what exactly is meant by hazardous material. The U.S. Department of Transportation has defined this as any substance or article that is capable of posing an unreasonable risk to health, safety, or property when transported in commerce, and which has been so designated. That is, the material meets the definition of one or more of the 9 classes of hazards as listed on the Hazardous Materials Table, sometimes called the Hazmat Table, in Section 172.101. An important term in the definition is transported in commerce. By defining hazardous materials as only those which will be transported in commerce, consumers are allowed to purchase hazardous materials for their own use and transport them themselves without being subject to these regulations. If these same items are carried for commercial purposes, then they would be regulated. Remember, however, that even as a consumer, if you pay for the transport, it becomes transport in commerce. You may be able to carry a can of paint home from the hardware store in your own vehicle without worrying about these regulations, but you will be subject to them if you try to take that can of paint on board an aircraft as a paying customer. Hazardous materials is a term used by the U.S. DOT for materials that pose dangers during transportation. Dangerous goods is the international term for hazardous materials. That is why the U.S. regulations are called the Hazardous Materials Regulations, but international regulations, such as the IATA DGR, refer to these substances as dangerous goods.